Everybody, welcome to Superherocuts. We got a big special episode for you today, getting into Superman. We finally are really in the DCU. I'm going to introduce our guest feature to you, Slav. Most of you probably know him.
What's going on? That just kind of boom, it just went.
Yeah, try to bring the excitement, and we got myself and Stevie per usual. We have got a pretty nice docket for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about how are you feeling about Superman right now? Was Supergirl the right move for the second DCU and the next DCU movie? David Zaslav endorses James Gunn's 10-year plan with a big statement. Does Clayface moving to the DCU have implications for Robert Pattinson's Batman moving to the DCU? And the newest fan casting, Andrew Garfield as the Flash. Do we think that's a good pick or not? And we're also going to be getting into Fantastic Four first steps. We're going to talk if they are showing us too much footage and revealing too much from the movie. Norman Osborn is rumored to be introduced into the MCU. We're going to see if he should be if he should just be just Norman for a while. And Spider-Man Brand New Day is going old school. Is what would a Human Torch and Spider-Man team-up movie look like and how legendary it would be. And Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury in Avengers Doomsday. So hope you're ready for that kind of docket tonight. Stevie, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, man. Just want to say, man, we're happy to have Slav on. Real Anarchy is gonna be on soon. He's having some connection issues because it's storming, and where I'm at too is storming pretty bad. So, prayers out to him. Hope everything's all right out there. So, Slav, man, just want to before we get into anything, brother, how are you feeling, man? What's crack-a-lacking in the streets?
Hey, I'm feeling good. Nothing crack-a-lacking at all. I do want to say this, though. We do have to celebrate 25 years of X-Men. The Bryan Singer X-Men movie came out 25 years ago this week, which is a huge impact on where we are right now with comic book movies. We can't just gloss over that. I mean, we had Blade before that, which Blade had a pretty big impact, but it was really the X-Men movie what Bryan Singer created that came out in 2000, which truly set everything in motion to get to where we are today with Superman. I just want to say, hey, don't forget about that X-Men movie that came out in mid-July, beginning of July of 2000.
Let's go.
What's up, Real Anarchy? A lot of our guests, you probably know him as well. We're happy to have you on.
No, thank you for you guys for inviting me.
Of course.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, you look familiar.
Dude, I was really watching you last night. You were on Why So Sidious's podcast.
Yeah.
Great guy. Yeah. I was watching you in there. I was like, okay.
I like him. He actually, I was supposed to be on his show on November. Mm-hmm. And funny story is that I said no because I was celebrating my birthday that weekend, and it was his birthday that weekend also.
My birthday's in November too. 14th.
November? Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is in December. I don't want to say what day because, the internet.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, bro, thank you so much for just carving time out of your, time to hop on, bro. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. No. I appreciate you for inviting me.
Of course, dog. All right. So let's get into the docket today. I want to know how you guys are feeling about Superman right now. There's been a lot of just yapping going around. People have been talking about box office, and I hope some of you guys can give some just insight and knowledge on what's going on with the box office, because there's like 1,000 voices being told about that as well. But how are you guys feeling about Superman today at my time, 9:04 Eastern? So, Slav, how are you feeling about Superman right now?
I mean, I still feel about what I felt the other day. I feel good about it. It's an enjoyable film. It really is. And for me, I take a look at David Cornsweet as Superman. I think he's establishing himself as this generation's Superman because he embodied Superman better. Look, Cavill was great, but he was never given the opportunity to truly embody Superman like Cornsweet was able to do in just one film. And because of that, this movie, I think, is going to really prove to be a perfect stepping stone for the DCU because of just corn sweat, not because of James Gunn, not because of the movie as a whole, but because of corn sweat and his portrayal of Superman. And the reason I say it like that is because this was our first glimpse at him. He's going to pop up again, and probably in Peacemaker, probably in Supergirl, and we're going to see him pop up in different places here and there before we get the next Superman movie. He's going to be that glue that holds everything together. He's going to be that force that everyone is going to recognize, and it's all going to be because of this movie. And it's the best way to start everything with this universe, and I feel really good about it.
Yeah, to piggyback on what you're saying, I think James Gunn picked the right guy, and I don't think he's gonna show up in a lot of places. I hope. Well, I don't know, but I hope they treat Carnes with the same way that RDJ and Captain America,
Chris Evans,
Chris Pratt, no Chris, one of the Chris, one of the Chris's.
There's three of them, so
yeah, there's three of them. So I hope they treat them the same way where they show up on Prime screens, whether it's a sequel or a joint venture with other superheroes. I don't want him to show up in shows. Like, I feel like I don't think it's gonna devalue the character, but I think it might do it. I don't know if getting the overexposure will help the character. And this is why I appreciate that Batman doesn't show up every fucking where, especially in TV shows. But I think this is a great start for the DCU. I think this is a solid start. I think David Carnswood is going to be this generation's generational Superman. And just like Slav said, I think Henry was really shafted. It's unfortunate, but it happened. And I think that all the noise that I'm hearing on social media about Henry versus this guy, it's all just background noise perpetuated by people that just want some clout. I don't think if you are a fan, you would enjoy what Henry did on those three movies. And be excited, even if you're not a fan of this film, at least be excited that it's in solid ground and that we're gonna get something more fleshed out or something greater than we never had a chance to get with the Snyderverse.
Yeah, I think that people are really forgetting that, like, DC starting out with Superman. I wasn't so sure about it at first. I think it was the perfect move. Coming after this weekend, because Superman is just so iconic that you have so many more people interested in this movie that went to see this movie that don't normally go see every MCU or Star Wars movie. I mean, like, my dad, who doesn't care for superhero movies at all, is like sending me articles about it. He wants to go see it. And, the MCU, when they started out almost on, being pushed on their back foot due to circumstance, and they had to make Iron Man popular, make Thor popular, even Captain America. DC, they don't have to worry about Superman and Batman being popular. I think that obviously they had to do things right, and there's a lot more that goes into it, but they did that. And David Corenswet, there's something really special about him. And when James Gunn said, like, back in the day, he was like, David Corenswet's going to blow you all away. Just wait. Like, boy, was he spot on. I mean, nobody is authentically complaining about David Corenswet as Superman.
No.
Yeah.
Usually it's the same nonsense. The trunks, the visuals, James Gunn's style of Superman.
Oh, that's like,
yeah, I was like, I was
it's
indifferent to them, but there were times that I was like,
they definitely looked silly, but he also, like, the world of the sci-fi and comic book goodness, like, it just felt so big, and there was so much more there, and I'm so excited for more to come. I love this movie, and it makes me so excited for DCU. I think it checked all the right boxes for what this movie needed to be.
Yeah, man. I want to give James Gunn his flowers because he not only created a movie for adults, but he created a movie for Gen Z kids as well.
Yeah,
I
families.
look all on TikTok and there's shirt and all I see is Clark and Lois 24/7 on my freaking
Mhm.
TL. The kissing, him making food for her. She has a bat when she's looking around the corner. Like, it's
Hey, at least they're not fake eggs also that he's making.
yeah, right. Exactly, right. It's literally is all of the small details, that James Gunn just. I really think this guy just understands like the virality of like doing a movie, like this, and it's so weird because I also do think that this movie didn't focus as much as I wanted to on Lois and Clark's, relationship, but that's one of the biggest standouts of the movie. So, but right now I love Superman, and I am even more excited for the future because James Gunn gave us a character that needs growth, that needs upgrades, that like that security in that fortress needs to
A little bit tighter.
yeah, like you need more capable robots that can do more than just run and stab themselves in the head with a wrench or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like there's actual upgrades that need to be had, and so like it's yes,
One A.
one A. Yeah, like the movie, and by the way, Lex stole the show. Like Lex Luthor was just, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
man,
I loved him.
Dude,
Well,
yeah.
he didn't have. Well, I know I did. I love Lex also. I'm glad that you brought that up. The whole thing about trending on social media, because I don't know if it's social media because the way that it works, the algorithm knows that you're into comic books, or you're into this film, so that's what's gonna feed you. I don't think it's gonna give you stuff how to raise a sheep in a farm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna give you that kind of stuff. But it's good to see that even though that is within our circles, within the algorithm that feeds us information, that is heavily on your face. So I'm like, okay, so other people that are looking for this type of movies are gonna get fed the exact same algorithm and the same marketing, and it's gonna lure more people to watch this movie. How do you guys feel about the second week box office? Have we talked about the box office yet? Yeah,
A little bit, no, actually not all.
Oh, okay, all right.
It did 220 million,
Yeah.
which, we talked about this a little bit texting last week, and I thought 200 would be a W. So I think 220 is a bit higher than what I was hoping for or expecting. In realist, and we also have to be real. This is not a good year for box office.
No.
220 mil on an opening weekend in 2025 is a good number.
For Damage brand, because this movie already made the entire box office that Aquaman did, Shazam, I think also Black Adam and Blue Beetle in one weekend.
Right.
So the studio got to be looking at this. Holy shit, we got a banger. So even for what it's worth, they already made. It's changing the narrative as far as their brand, which was damaged beyond repair just by looking at those numbers.
That's the one thing that people refuse. I say the people. We know what people I'm talking about here. They refuse to look at all of the variables that are going on and that have led to this point where Superman making $220 million worldwide in its first weekend is a huge win for not just for DC, not for Warner Brothers, but
Marvel.
For the comic book movie genre as a whole. Now, yes, when Fantastic Four comes out in a couple weeks, it could do that. It could do better. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that when that happens. But right now, this is why for months leading up to this, I tried, posting articles on slabsfreetalk.com, talking about it in videos. The medium for comic book movies over the last couple of years has been less than $500 million box office total. That's the medium for comic book movies. So for a comic book movie to make more than that would be phenomenal in this day and age.
Yep.
But people want to constantly sit there and go back and say, well, this movie made this in 2013. This one made it in 2016 and 2014. Like, no, this isn't 2013. This isn't 2016. We are in a much different time. I get that everybody wants to compare to Man of Steel, to Batman vs. Superman. I get it. but we're in a different time. And that's what people don't understand. So, yes, I think the box office that it's done this weekend has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I think week 2, I think it's going to have a strong week 2. Here's an interesting thing that people don't understand. And I did some research myself today because I knew we would talk about this. All right. So everybody's freaking out about the international numbers, right? They're like, oh, only $95 million. People don't understand. The international market typically blows up after that first week. Okay. For instance, let me find my notes here.
Did you have Avatar there? Because
I figured.
So, Aquaman. We'll go Aquaman. All right. We'll do comic book movies first.
Aquaman 1 or 2?
The first Aquaman in 2018
that one
made $93.6 million in its first weekend.
Yep.
It ended at $298 million international. These are international numbers, guys. Okay. So that exploded after the first weekend. Wonder Woman 2017 started with 122 million, finished at 410. Black Panther started at 169 its first weekend, finished at 646 internationally. Venom, this isn't a great example. 107 first weekend, finished at 269. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse started at 21 its first weekend, finished at 185. So you can see that first weekend when it comes to comic book movies usually isn't huge. But when it finishes, it's big. So everyone freaking out like, oh man, this is crazy. Look at the internet. It's only 95 million. It's going to finish strong internationally.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at 290, 300, 350. That's a good possibility that it could reach that high. So there's no worry about that when it comes to the box office. But if we talk domestically, I'm thinking we're probably going to see 45 to 50% drop next weekend just because of how strong word of mouth is right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I think that Superman having early screenings was a really big help. And like I know a lot of people, like at least like just around me from like my church and stuff, and just from my life, that were not interested in Superman at all. And from them seeing just the slew of just ads, you know, and people's reviews, it helped them go. Now, I don't know if did they include the early
the Thursday
screenings? Yeah,
Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's all baked into the weekend box office.
And I also think that's going to be a new trend. I think a lot of movies are going to start doing that now.
They did the same thing with with Man of Steel. If I saw a video today, which I didn't know until I saw a video today by Scott, which he actually broke down this whole box office thing, because I had questions, because I don't like, to me, I really don't care. It's just whenever people have some bad faith argument, I'm like, what are you doing? What's the purpose? Why are we doing this dick measuring thing? Like, what is the end goal? To me, it doesn't make any
they
difference.
Want you to make sure you believe what they believe. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly, like, seriously, I want to know, what is the end game? Why are you saying, well, this made more? Like, who gives can I cuss here?
Yeah.
Oh, who gives a shit? You know, like, who's a fuck? Like, we are in a different time. Yes, I guess you feel hurt that movie didn't work out that way, but I don't know what's the purpose of this doing this big measuring. Like, to me, it's just, okay, a movie made money after the pandemic when comic book movies weren't doing a lot of numbers. There was a lot of conversation on comic book fatigue. The last three MCU movies have been duds, and there was a real, nervousness about this movie coming out. And the fact that this movie performed well should be a sigh of relief to everybody that is a comic book fan. Like, we all should be like, oh, thank God, we're gonna get more CBMs. You know what I mean?
100%.
But instead, we get into this like inconsequential arguments about, well, my movie made more fucking money. It's like, who gives a shit, bro? There was more people going. Anyway, so yeah.
So, James Gunn, and we're going to get into Zaslav's statement in a bit, but
Sure.
They basically both said in their own way, like this movie is not going to be the be all end all. And for a while, we were worried because Warner Brothers is not doing well. And, and then Minecraft came out and was doing well. But it seems that they really understand that they are trying to build something. And in order to build something, they have to put a little bit of faith and patience into it, and can't just expect first movie, $1 billion overnight. Like, it's not that simple. It's not that easy, especially in 2025. And when people are comparing, like Slav was saying, a movie from 2013, I don't care what the movie was, like that was 12 years ago. Okay. Yep. Barack Obama was still president. It's a different world.
Alone.
And you can't make these comparisons. And like Real Anarchy is saying, it's bad faith. It's bad faith. There's a lot of people doing it. It's inauthentic. We all know that the reason they're doing the bad faith thing is because they're butthurt that Zack Snyder didn't get the job that James Gunn got. And it's like this perpetual tantrum, and it's just so ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
But I think that I think James Gunn got a banger. I think their studio is in a good place. And to piggyback of you saying that they are not just relying on this film, I don't think they went with intent that they're going to put all the eggs in one basket. They said, we're going to invest in the DCU and DC studio as a whole, whatever the fuck that means as a number. You know what I mean? So the fact that they spent $200-300 million in this film is irrelevant. They invested in the studio. The studio made a movie, made some profit. We're going to move on to the next one. The next one is Supergirl. Probably doesn't have the same budget, but it might, now the perception is that this is a different studio. Things are happening, there is more optimism around the brand, and it could return a profit. Then you have the body horror movie, which is like $70 million, I believe. And if that movie makes $300 million, fuck, that's $300 million on a $78 million investment. That's 3 times its budget. So, there is, I think the way people are looking at this is just, it's not the right way to look at it. That's why James Gunn said what he said. This is not all be all. Guys need to settle the fuck down to those who are making those claims.
And 100. They're also establishing characters, and some of them are new characters to a lot of people. A lot of people aren't familiar with Supergirl. A lot of people aren't familiar with Hal and John, the Green Lanterns. And, I think that is going to, like, I think that the Lanterns are going to be almost like Iron Man. Like, people are going to walk into it or sit down to watch it in their homes, and they're not going to know much about them, and they're going to be like, holy crap, these guys are awesome. Because I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, and I know, like, I put Stevie onto them, and he loves them now. So I think they're great characters, and when people give them a chance, they love them. And it's going to be on HBO, like Max, so people are going to be able to watch it at home. I think they're making the right moves. I just want to see Batman come out.
Me too.
That's my only thing.
Facts. All right. Now now that we're talking about that, we might as well just segue into our next topic here, talking about Supergirl. So, I'm not gonna say spoiler. It's Monday. You guys should have seen it already, man. Come on, guys. Hey, man, sue me if I spoiled it for you. I'm sorry. I mean, but so Supergirl was in the Superman movie. Question: when Supergirl walked up, did your theater like erupt?
Yeah. Especially girls. Oh my god!
It was so funny. And so now, and obviously it's been public for a long time that the next movie that we are getting is Supergirl. So I wanted to ask you guys: do you, like, with Superman happening and with the fan reactions to Supergirl, and all of that stuff, do you guys think that Supergirl was the right move for this? And do you think that a Supergirl movie can work and can be something that can be very successful? Even and obviously we're not talking about Supergirl doing $1 billion, right? But still, being looked at as a great success.
I think honestly, no. I never thought it was actually a good idea to go with Supergirl as the next movie. I think we were talking about it earlier in our chat. I honestly think they should have fast-tracked Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman 1, 2, 3. Just get the Trinity out there. 1, 2, 3. I'm not saying like in 1 year or in 2 years, like if they wanted to, separate them year by year, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, separate them like that. That's not to say that Supergirl isn't an important character. That's not to say that this movie isn't going to be awesome. And hell, this movie could make more money than Superman. It could. I just think that when you're starting the universe, you need to have strong, established characters to really push the, push the universe forward. Now, I know James Gunn has sat there and said this script was just too good. We had to make it. It was so good. We had to make it. It wasn't their intention. He has stated that it wasn't their intention to make a Supergirl movie until they saw the story and the script, and they just had to make it. That's awesome. That's great to hear. And that's exciting to hear. But is it the right move right now? Like, they could have done that. They could have made it still. They could have just pushed it a year. They could have put Batman ahead of it. They could have put Wonder Woman ahead of it. If they wanted to go the route of getting a female character out first, they could have put Wonder Woman ahead of it. Regardless, I don't think it was the smart move, but I being a comic book fan, I being a superhero fan, I'm interested in it. I just worry about the larger general audience. Now, like I said, if Superman's in it, which again, we know that it's based off of the Woman of Tomorrow comic, but I'm guessing because of the inclusion of Lobo, it's probably not going to be completely, taken from that comic. So, Superman, I have a feeling has a chance of showing up and popping up in there. I think that there's a good possibility that they could play off that, in the promotion, the build up to it, showing Superman, hey, here he is, he's in it, and maybe help get people into the theater. I don't know. I just think that they should have gone, like I said, the route of the Trinity first, then get her out there. I also thought, like I said, they could have done 3 movies and then had, the TV shows building some of the other characters up in between. But then again, I mean, they needed to get stuff going. And they had the scripts ready that they had, and they went with it. So, I mean, you do what you got to do, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like the Supergirl as the second movie idea either. I didn't like when James Gunn said she's one of the 4 pillars they're building the DCU on. I think that that's a poor choice. I don't read Supergirl comics, so I'm not familiar with the Woman of Tomorrow story, but I have heard good things. And I'm sure the script is going to be good. I'm sure the movie is going to be good. I don't think that's the issue. I just think it would be better to have someone like Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, someone who's, more popular and going to be more important to the Justice League. Who knows? Maybe she will be.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. My answer to that is I don't know, because I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if it's a good move on their part. As far as the story is a solid story. It's a very good story. One of the things is that on the previous regime, we kind of went to space a little bit, and then went on the sea a little bit. Well, we went a lot in that fucking movie, but them doing Supergirl is gonna take them to space. So this is gonna be their version of Star Wars, because it's gonna be a Supergirl that's gonna go to different planets, run into different cultures. They can retrofit some new gods in there. I doubt it, but the stories can always change, and they can do that with that character. So as far as like world building, it makes sense to have that movie if that's what they try to do. They try to world build, because this is something that James Gunn has said. We're not story building, we're world building. Well, we're not we're world building, but he said something else. And
like a great quote. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah, he did made that quote. I think I'm not getting it right. But the thing is creating this world where you have alien gods and monsters, and then you have monsters coming out of space. Because even the Superman movie said, "Oh, we could take this kaiju to whatever some intergalactic zoo, whatever." It's like, what the fuck you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
So I agree with the idea that we should have started with Batman, but James Gunn has a real problem with Batman. I don't think people are not talking enough about that. They are in this, and I think Grace Randall was the only one who said this, that they are in the same situation that Sony and Marvel is with their Spider-Man. And I think that and the Matt Reeves Batman, that's why so many people bring in this conversation. Well, now you have to bring in the Matt Reeves Batman into the DCU, and it's because of that, because it will fix all the fucking problems. Even though I would prefer them separate. I will keep them separate. But now he has, he has a real conundrum with this Batman. Yeah, Wonder Woman should be the pillar, not Supergirl. I agree 100% on that. And she should have been already announced or recast or something alluding to that character, because the only thing that we got was Paradise Lost, and we haven't heard shit ever since.
Yeah.
So that gives me a little pause. But as far as having Supergirl as the second entry in the DCU, it doesn't bother me at all, because I can see the potential. But it can be a big misstep at the same time. A movie can be anything, I always say that. And so it can be a gift or a curse. But I feel like if the idea is to world build, I think this is a smart move to introduce that character, bring in Lobo, show up with Superman, and then show some space out there, even some lanterns, you don't know.
Yeah. The quote, by the way, you had it right. We're world building, not story building. And I would love to see the New Gods. Like, that would be a great show, by the way, because you could make it like a drama, and they're not characters that everyone knows, and people will lose their minds. Like, people don't realize how crazy New Gods and the it's like a deep cut for comics fans.
If it goes like full on Kirby,
exactly. Oh man, it'd be so. Of course, I said this to Stevie the other day. The second they do it, the Snyder cult is going to be like, well, Zack Snyder invented Darkseid.
Just wait. It's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen.
That boy can do nothing without being compared to Zack.
So, I didn't like the decision, more so because I like this, and I like the idea of having a bunch of heroes involved into Supergirl's growth as a character. And because I grew up watching, shows and movies where, Batman and Diana, they were a part of her growth into how she became a fearsome warrior, And so I thought that we were going to get more of a movie like that. But I mean, this bro, you're right. This story is fire, but this just wouldn't have been something that, I would have wanted to, go with. But I do think that Supergirl could be also a dark horse. Like, I think that marketed the right way, and they really, really, really have to showcase her power. Like, because I mean, Supergirl is a savage, you know what I mean? Like, and like a lot of people don't know how savage this girl is. Like, look, she looks cute, you know what I mean? She cursed at him walking out, but like she has some real power to her, and I think that, and and also having Lobo in this whole thing too, that also can open the door to just some straight up savagery that we might not have gotten with Superman, but we are going to see a Supergirl. And I almost think that they might sell Supergirl as a more violent character than Superman, and I think that would be like the perfect thing to go with it. But I also want to talk about this because Slav just sent this in. The guy that plays Mr. Terrific, he confirms that he just signed a multi-project deal with DC Studios to play Mr. Terrific. That is crazy,
bro. Seriously, where is this new? I gotta do a video after this.
It's from.
This is like everyone said they wanted this after.
Yes, he stole the show.
Great. Yeah,
it's via Variety.
I'm so glad because
that's fucking awesome.
They nerfed him so bad on Arrow. that
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad the character finally got justice.
Like when I saw, because I saw that guy with his slick hair, I was like, fuck is this shit? Like this guy is supposed to be like a black Batman, and you gave me this. What the fuck is? I remember watching that. That bothered me. By the way, same Batman. I said this on the live stream, on the stream that I was in last night. James Gunn got away with including Batman without putting Batman in Superman, in the Superman movie, by putting Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, it's a great point. By the way, I saw someone else say that it's all Matt Reeves' fault for James Gunn not being able to use Batman in the DCU right now. I don't know if I'm pushing it. And I asked him, this was today. I asked him, and I said, is this something that we know for certain? And I don't think he got back to me. And I didn't mean it to be like, I'm just curious. So that's why I'm kind of asking you, Real Anarchy, because, you mentioned this before too, and how it's like with Sony, but I know they obviously have the right, but is it that Matt Reeves signed on, he didn't want to do DCU, and he still wants to do his thing with Batman, and they have to honor the deal that he was already in?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if they have if Matt Reeves have an ironclad contract to do 2 movies, and that will hold the character hostage as long as he needs to. I mean, the dude has taken 4 years to do a fucking sequel.
Yeah, that's why I don't think we're going to get a part 3. Like, if we get the part 2, which I definitely think we're getting, I think the part 3 is just not happening.
Yeah, I don't think so too. I agree. I always said if either he does his standalone sequel and done, or he merges this guy into the DCU. It's one or the other. I don't think he's gonna get a trilogy.
Right. Yeah. I think they'll say they're going to do a third, but like it's going to end up falling apart at some point.
Yeah, I don't think like they can, because the argument that I hear, I'm taking everybody's fucking time. I'm sorry. You want to?
Sorry, and I ruined the Mr. Terrific, so that was my fault.
Yeah, because like Mr. Terrific, well, he's not gonna be Elseworld. But one of the things I hear a lot of people say, well, they can keep Elseworld. Or even James Gunn said, yeah, we want to keep that separate because Elseworld's blase blase. Like, I think you're being that's a genius, brother. I think you're saying that because you're in front of the cameras. But I think the main characters will not be part of any Elseworlds. After James Gunn, after Matt Reeves is done, there's not going to be a Superman Elseworlds. I don't think there's going to be a Wonder Woman Elseworld. They can do like something like, I don't know,
Wally West or Barry Allen if they have one.
Those kids, like even the whole thing about the Robins, because it hasn't been announced that it's going to be part of the DCU. That could be Elseworld. They can do a Batman Beyond. That can be Elseworld. Like all that shit can be Elseworld, but they're not gonna do a Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, or even Lanterns Elseworld.
But also, like, you also don't, because I mean there's 300 years of history, you know what I mean, that we just don't know about.
True.
And so like you could do so much in 300 years, and Batman Beyond could be the future DCU that we just take a peek into, that we might hit in the next 20 some years.
What the fuck are you just hitting?
It's just, I mean, bro, you could really chalk Elseworlds and just,
that would be crazy, bro. Because if we got to know and love the DCU Batman, and he's like doing his thing, and then they're like, now this is that same Batman, but like 20 years down the line.
Yeah,
bro. I'm telling you, James Gunn is cooking right now, bro.
Yeah, instead of rebooting, let's fucking go beyond.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah. And now I'm getting excited.
Slav, you don't like that idea.
I just want a new Batman.
I'm more open to the patenting thing now. I really am, because I just think that the DCU is Batman, and he is there. And like,
you were on my side, dude. Come on.
No, I know. And I was like hardcore on your side. And listen, if you told me today that like they could pick a new Batman for the DCU, I would say do it, but like not at the expense of waiting for Brave and the Bold till 2030.
I mean, and there was also a rumor, and I'm not trying to put words in people's mouths, but there was a rumor that Pattinson wanted to do it. I wonder how true that actually is. You know what I mean? And did Reeves just come in and say, no? You know what I mean? Like those are things
That's
that
a
make me
possibility
wonder.
because he was doing small films, those artsy fartsy movies, and I think he said in an interview that he reached out to his representation and said, "Hey, go ahead, throw my name out there for big budget blockbuster movies," and so this will align with his desires to be.
Because Nolan films and
Must
Dune
throw up
3 and
Right.
those aren't
Well,
big enough for him.
Nolan, he did Tenet, he's doing Odyssey, so but like, let's be real, he sees how
Well,
much.
before that, the thing he did was what, Good Times.
Yeah,
Before the Batman, Batman was the one that put him. Never mind all those vampire movies. Before Batman, he wasn't doing big blockbuster.
Yeah, yeah.
He was in Harry Potter.
What?
He was in Harry Potter.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was in Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
about that.
Remember he died. Yep, he got killed by
I forgot about that.
He slapped. How you like that image, man? It looked good, huh?
Mm.
It looked good, don't it?
I don't mind that. I would prefer them separate, but if they announce it, I would like. I would be giddy. I would be like, yes.
Yeah. That's how they got me, because Stevie and I heard the track release with the Superman score and the Batman score, and I was just like so excited about it that I'm like, you know what? At this point, like they might as well just do it, because I don't think the DCU could afford to wait till 2030 till they have Batman.
No, that would be crazy.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if say the Batman does come out in December October 2027, I think it's October 1st, 2027 is the current date. Like, they are not going to release 2 Batman movies in the same year.
No.
And I don't think that movie is going to make it by 2027.
No.
So now you're talking 2028 and 2029 at best for the Brave and the Bold. That's already a long time.
Yeah, like if you were a betting man, it will make sense. Like, what? Then they're haven't released any information about the DCU Batman.
Peter Safran did promise that a Batman movie was coming out that date.
Yeah.
So if it's not the Batman 2, it could be the Brave and the Bold that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And James Gunn did say last week he has to read 2 scripts. I'm pretty sure
by the end of the year.
Brave and the Bold, right?
Yeah, that would be the only other one.
Yeah, 2 Batmans. Yeah.
Unless Matt Reeves wrote 2 scripts.
Or unless Matt Reeves is lying and he actually wrote Brave and the Bold and then Robert Pattinson.
No way, he's too slow.
There's
no way he did too.
I'm literally crying.
I'm enjoying this.
Some of the
The whole picture was a diversion because he's the new. So sorry, guys. Let me stop.
I think one of the scripts might be a wild card. I mean, we're talking about a Clayface movie, so there's a good chance it's a character none of us are thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just think that but who knows? Maybe they're not so focused on getting Batman off the ground first because they decided to use Supergirl for their second movie. So maybe they're like,
no, that's true.
All right.
But waiting, I don't know, for a 10-year plan and waiting roughly probably 5 years to introduce their own Batman is just not. It doesn't sound like an ideal situation.
Right.
Like, if I don't know if that's a possibility, but what if Matt Reeves took as long as it did because he needed to make it work with the DCU? If the movie was successful, now you have a real 1 and 2 punch in the DCU. And if it wasn't successful enough, then here you go. You have my standalone Batman, which is still gonna bring fucking people into the movie theaters.
Right. Watch him announce something crazy at Comic-Con for the Peacemaker panel. He comes out and he's like, "Oh, Matt Reeves is our director for Brave and the Bold."
Whoa, I see him on Comic-Con when he goes to promote some stuff. He never diverged from the product that he's advertising there. Like, he never goes into, this XYZ movie is coming out later on. Like, even when he was in Mexico advertising Peacemaker.
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos. He didn't talk about nothing else but Creature Commandos.
Different,
but things are different now. Things are different now. The DCU is full steam ahead now.
Yeah.
Touche.
Got questions, bro.
That is very true.
So, All right, and real bro, you just segued perfect. So we're going to get right to Mr. David Zaslav. David Zaslav wants you. All right. So, David Zaslav, he just put out a whole entire statement, but I just want to give the part that we care about here. And he said this. He said this is all a part of a bold 10-year plan. The DC vision is clear. The momentum is real. Now, I'm not sure, and I don't know about you guys, but this got me, as I heard earlier, it got me giddy. So I wanted to hear how do you guys feel about Zaslav coming out and just talking about how happy he is about Superman and about how he just endorsed the 10-year plan.
I loved it. I love this so much. First of all, I think Zaslav is amazing. I think he's the type of executive that you need, and it's so great to hear. This was a brilliant move for him to put out this statement, because not only did James Gunn have an amazing, successful weekend with Superman, but when everyone was talking about the box office, it was important at that moment to make that statement. And that's a stand-up guy that did it. And he not only signaled to the entire industry that, I have James Gunn's back, we're proud of this, we're going forward, but he signaled to all the people who were like, oh, well, Man of Steel did. He's like, we have faith, we have patience, we believe in this thing. I thought it was an awesome statement.
Yeah, I thought so too. Even though Zaslav is he's a suit. So yeah, so if the movie would have performed this well, I don't think he would have had the same. He probably would have made the same statement, but would be making different moves behind the scenes. Because from what I understand, before he hired James Gunn, he was talking to the hierarchy of power.
But let's be real. I mean, he was talking to the hierarchy, but he also had a conversation with Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
he legitimately, he was talking to everybody. So
everybody. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. So
yeah, so he was trying to shop around who was gonna run the studio, and honestly, let's keep it a stack. If that Black Adam movie would have made $1 billion, I think we will be having a different conversation today.
We got so lucky.
We dodged a bullet.
I like that movie, but
I enjoyed the fuck out of the movie.
DCU around it,
Oh yeah. But it would have been Black Adam. I saw somebody tweet this. It would have been Black Adam versus Superman, Black Adam versus the Suicide Squad, Black Adam, the Dark Universe.
Bro. I saw a fan art. It was a Rock and Jason Statham as Superman facing each other. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I seen that one too.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, guys. I'm sorry,
Sure.
but everybody's talking very positive, so I want to be the other side of it. So David Zaslav, obviously, the movie just came out. It's done well. So yeah, he's going to pump up James Gunn. He's going to pump up the universe. He's going to say, look, we have confidence, all this kind of stuff. Absolutely. He's going to talk like that. But let's not act like if Peacemaker comes out next month and it does complete trash, that he's not going to be sitting there getting ready to, okay, let's see what happens next. And then next year, Supergirl comes out, doesn't perform. Lanterns comes out, doesn't perform. James Gunn's gone. So don't sit there and think hey, everything's sunshine and butterflies and roses and rainbows. He's saying this because things look good.
Yeah.
But if things don't perform, if things don't keep up, things are going to change. I mean, regardless, we all know that Warner Brothers Discovery isn't in the best place right now. It's just not. DC Studios, while it is technically it's a separate entity, it's still under the umbrella, so it needs to perform as well, and it needs things to perform. And Peacemaker, I think it's going to do fine. Who knows? We don't while we can take a look and see a box office and Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and all that stuff, we could put that all together and say, hey, a movie does well. When it comes to TV shows and it comes to streaming, it's almost impossible for us commentators to say, hey, this did well, because we never have the full picture.
We don't know.
Yeah, we never have the full picture. So we're never going to really be able to tell. They will. I mean, when it comes down to it, I think, yeah, he said this. It's great. It's exciting to hear. But we knew from the very start that this wasn't going to be a one and done thing for James Gunn. Even if this movie underperformed, they weren't going to fire James Gunn and Safran right now. Like, they were going to say, hey, we know there's some circumstances why this suffered. Let's see what happens next. So that's it's a wait and see kind of thing. Like, we have to see, is it just the brand? Is it James Gunn? What is going on? So they have to see, and they have to play their cards just right. And that's kind of what's going on. So he's not going to sit there and say, hey, we're happy about this movie, but we're still waiting and seeing. Hold on, guys. Like, no, he's going to sit there and say, hey, movie did awesome. Fully behind James Gunn. Excited to see what happens. All that kind of stuff. He's, like you said, he's a suit. He's going to say the right things.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what you're saying, you're 100% correct, because look at what happened, almost what happened to Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. Had that been for the Minecraft movie and what was the other one? Sinners,
Final Destination,
and F1. So had not been for those movies performing better than expected, probably they would have shown the door.
Yeah,
they would have been shown the door. So yeah, James Gunn.
F1.
Yeah,
they're
distributed. Okay. They distributed F1. So so it's like any CEO. Look at what happened to Bob Iger's back after. You know what I mean? So this, yes, it can be a situation where, yes, James Gunn, you had to deliver, at least be consistent as Feige was in his first term during his Infinity Saga. But at the same time, they had to also show a little bit of restraint, because, you know, not every single movie, every show is going to be a banger. And they had to also be patient. And that's the thing that we liked before. We like studio, it would like patience and the restraint to stay disciplined, so that way we can see this thing through. Now, I'm not saying for the studio to continue to hemorrhage money if the movie I'm not performing. I'm saying, like, if you have one dud or two, or a show that is not really that expensive, like, fucking let it fly and continue the course. Yeah. But I agree with you, definitely, that if things don't pan out the way that David Zaslav, as far as numbers goes, yeah, he is likely to make changes, whether it's to fire James Gunn or just clean house. I don't think rebooting will be the path, but he will bring somebody else to continue to steer the ship.
I think James Gunn is very experienced, and I think it was really smart of him to put the ground rule down. Like, if we don't have a script that we're happy with, we're not moving forward.
Yep.
And he's obviously an innovator. It's a different way of doing things. Mm-hmm. It's more fiscally sound. And, they haven't had a DC Studios dud yet. I'm not saying it's not going to come. Of course it's going to come. No one is going to, be batting 1,000. But I do think that their ground rule is going to be a much bigger mitigator of that than the MCU had.
I think that James Gunn's greatest strength could also be his greatest weakness. And I think one of James Gunn's greatest strength is he knows how to make non-popular characters mainstream. He knows how to take a character that, like, I mean, and look, just being honest, a lot of people view Superman as corny. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he took a character that a lot of people view as corny, and now he's mainstream. And the question is, is he going to be able to do that with Supergirl? You know what I mean? And is he going to be able to do that with, John and Hal, which I think is probably going to be easier. But, like, I mean, think about when he first announced, right? He talked about doing a project on the Authority. Like, I haven't heard about the word authority in a really long time, So, James Gunn has shifted his plans. And, like, for me personally, I think, the real test for me, bro, is how Supergirl goes in box office 1, and also what the heck is coming after Supergirl. Because, I mean, I know we're getting we're probably getting the dynamic duo file that's coming out soon, and some other small stuff. But, like, what's the next big thing that's coming out after Supergirl? And I don't think it's a Superman 2. So Those are kind of the questions I have. Like my vision right now is like, like, okay, like Supergirl is where like we need to hear like, okay, like what's next after that, and I think on how that performs and whatever's next could help us figure out and decide how this road is going to go.
Yeah.
I also think that James Gunn is going to be more of a studio head than a director for a little bit. I think he's going to step back, run the studio, deal with the scripts,
He should.
producers, and maybe come back for like a bigger Justice League movie or Superman 2 when they make it. But I want to see him step into that side of the role and have other directors come in.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I don't want him to direct a Justice League movie. I don't want him to direct a Batman movie. I don't, like if he wants to give his little notes here and there, sure. But I don't want him to. I want him to be the captain, steer the ship. That's pretty much it. I don't want to see your hand on everybody's work.
100%.
I actually don't want him to do Justice League either, but I do think he's going to come in for one of those bigger. Like,
yeah, I think he's going to reserve one of those big projects for himself.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, next thing here. Let's talk about Mr. Clayface here, a movie that I don't understand why they're making. But okay, so this is from a Nexus Point News. I'm not sure if this is a rumor, so I would just say it's a rumor because I don't think like they're that whatever. But they said that Clayface was originally set in Matt Reeves' The Batman epic crime saga before switching it to the DCU. So. I know you guys are in the DC streets a lot, so I wanted to ask, number one, like, have you guys heard anything about this? And do you guys think that this was even like a possible thing that Clayface could have popped up in the Batman 2, knowing that the Batman is more of a realistic type of vibe? You know what I mean? I just want to hear what you guys' thoughts were on that.
You want to take it first, Real?
Yeah. Nexus Point News, because I'm very eerie of Scoopers. Mm-hmm. But they've been having a good track record, and I know them. They're good people over there.
Cool.
But I don't know if I see. I should ask myself what those Matt Reeves Clayface looks like, because I think that's the more important question. Like, does it look? Is it some guy who has some deformities, and then they call him Clayface? Or is there a real guy who just fucking has a body made of clay, which I think that's why we're gonna get on in the DCU. So I don't know if there's any truth to this. That would make sense on why Matt Reeves took so damn long to do his movie, and if that's true, then that's a fucked up move by James Gunn, taking that character that probably play a pivotal role in his Batman sequel. But I don't know. I honestly.
So this was a rumor quite a while ago. The fact that Nexus Point News is bringing it up today just seems like they're struggling for news right now. Maybe they have some sources. Again, scoopers are scoopers, whether you believe them or not. So this was a rumor quite some time ago, and whether it's true or not, I can kind of see it being true. Now, here's the thing. I have this theory with Matt Reeves and what was going on with him in this whole crime saga, that he was just building this universe. And I think that's partially why it took him so long to do this movie. I think, he did the Penguin. I think he was like planning on like this large universe. He was just building and coming up with ideas.
Yeah, because they had the Gotham, GCPD, and Arkham.
Yeah. He also wrote that animated Amazon, or he worked on the Amazon.
Oh yeah, he was a producer on that. Yes,
but I would not be surprised. I should say, I would not be surprised if there was some kind of like a little story treatment that he threw together for a Clayface. Whether it was just something maybe like a few pages where he was like Clayface, blah blah blah, and he wrote it down real fast and threw it to the side. And James Gunn kind of came in and they had a conversation, and he was like, "Hey, let me see what you got." And Reeves was like, "Here you go," and he was showing him stuff. And James was like, "I really like this Clayface idea. Are you going to use it?" And Reeves was kind of like, "Probably not, no." And maybe that's what happened. You know, like I could see something like that being what transpired. Is that what happened? I have no idea. That's just what I made up in my head. But, you know, like when I think about it, like Reeves seems like the kind of person that when he's writing a movie, he builds everything out around that movie. So the whole universe, everything around his story is there. That way, every little intricate detail he knows in his head what's going on over here, you know, on the other side of Gotham, he knows what's happening when what's going on over here. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was something like that, where he was like, hey, I had this Penguin idea. I have this. And then he got writers and directors and they made that. And then he had the Clayface thing and hey, maybe somebody would grab it and take it. Nobody did. James Gunn saw it and was like, hey, can we take this for the DCU? We might adapt it a little bit. And hey, you could be a producer on it. Sure, absolutely. I want some free money. Boom, there you go. You know, like that's all it is. To think that he stole it from him, that's not going to be the case at all. But I think that's probably likely some way, shape, or form, and probably how it happened, if that's true. But honestly, who cares? We're getting a cool Clayface movie. I don't know. I'm excited for a body horror film set in the DCU. Why the hell not? Come on.
I happen to like Clayface. I wasn't. I don't like monster characters usually, but I was reading James Tynion's Detective Comics run, which is like the ultimate Batman family run, and Clayface becomes part of the Bat family. And he's actually kind of like a tragic, sad, and compelling character. So I feel like I see this vision more than most. I still think it's a bit odd they're making a Clayface movie. But if Clayface is moving from the Batman epic crime saga to the DCU, does that have other implications? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure. So I was kind of like just, I didn't really know how the Clayface would be in the Batman U if this was true. And the one thing that came to my mind was, and this is just pure off speculation here. Like I thought that it could have been something to where Clayface is maybe a serial, murderer, but he uses like clay and he makes these like, it's a way for him to like hide in like plain sight, So he uses clay to build these like disguises on his like body or something weird, like that. That's the only possible way that I can see that happening without diving into the fantastical. You know what I mean? But as I said, I don't really want a Clayface file just because I just want other character stuff. But hey, man, whatever happens. I'm not really tripping about it. So we'll see.
Yeah, Clayface is he's kind of like revenge driven. He's kind of got a chip on his shoulder, being betrayed, and he feels rejected. So I don't know. I think he's a little more interesting than people give him credit for. But I think James Gunn just got a script that he liked, and he's like, the budget makes sense. Like, this is a business decision. We're doing it. Yep.
Yeah. Now, Slav, before you go, I really wanted to hear your opinion on this because this has been circulating around the internet for some odd reason. Dude, I came across like a bunch of TikToks on it. So shout out to AI. Dude, I wanted to ask you, could you see Andrew Garfield as the Flash?
So okay, first off, I want to preface this. Spoilers for Superman. There is a scene when they're in the Hall of Justice where there's a mural on the ceiling, and apparently there is a shot of a Flash character, possibly Jay Garrick. So we know that there's a Jay Garrick in the DCU. So that's interesting because technically Jay Garrick isn't from the main Earth, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not very versed on Jay Garrick, so I apologize for DC fans. I know I'm a DC fan. What good am I? I never really read anything with Jay Garrick, so sorry. But when it comes to Barry Allen, if they go the Barry Allen route, sure, I can see him. But what is Andrew Garfield now? Is he? What is he in his 40s?
He's in his 40s.
41, right?
Yeah. So I guess like that would kind of work. Like if he's in his 40s then you could absolutely have a Kid Flash, and I think that would be fun. I would like to see a Kid Flash in an older Barry Allen. I think you could do it. Andrew Garfield's fun, but see, the problem with Andrew Garfield is don't take this the wrong way. Everybody's going to take this the wrong way. Don't take it the wrong way. So please don't.
He's the coolest Spider-Man we know.
He is a Ryan Reynolds light. And what I mean by that is he is a jokester. He is a prankster type of actor. Yes, he can do serious roles. But when I see him on screen, I always see him being like this jokester, this funny guy, you know? And even whenever I see him in serious roles, that's all that's in my head. And I don't want a Barry Allen like that. I don't. I want a serious Barry Allen. I want a real Barry Allen. Could he play Barry Allen? Probably. But I don't want that vision in my head of Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, joking around with people. So that's where I would fall. Like, probably don't want him as Barry Allen. Could he do it? Probably. But I just see him as Spider-Man joking around with the bank robbers and everything like that. Not the bank robbers. Quips. Yeah, his quips and stuff like that. That's what I see him as. Because that's just like whenever I first started seeing Andrew Garfield, that's what stuck in my head.
Yeah.
You know? So again, I know he's done serious content, serious movies, but every time I watch his movies with him, that's all I see. Yeah. You know? And that's like how it is with Ryan Reynolds. Like I see Ryan Reynolds today, and even if I see him in a serious movie, all I see is not even Deadpool. It's like movies from like Waiting to, back when he was younger, Van Wilder, things like that.
Van Wilder. It's like, oh my God, I forgot how much I loved his older movies.
It's that kind of stuff because that's he got typecast in my head.
Yeah.
So that's all.
I also think he's just too old. Like,
yeah,
we have I feel like a lot of people forget, we have a new DCU. They have the ability to, this is what I said with all the patents and stuff in the beginning. We have the ability to pick a new Batman that's perfect for the DCU. We have the ability to pick a Barry Allen that's the perfect age and the perfect person for the DCU. Like, and I hate fan cast because it feels like we're just in a big club and it's all the same IP actors that get fan cast all day long on Twitter. And it's just like, and James Gunn, and I forget how they said it, but he did say the other day, like how they casted David Cornsweet. It wasn't from the fan casting. He was watching something and he was in it and he pulled up the IMDb and he was like, called his people and he was like, get me this guy to audition for Superman. Why can't we trust James Gunn and the casting directors to cast the other roles? Look how good of a job he did with David Cornsweet. So let him cook.
Yeah.
And Aaron Pierre. Actually, I fan cast both.
Really?
Yeah, fan cast Aaron Pierre and also David Cornsweet.
Yeah, a lot of people were casting Cornsweet because of his face.
Yeah, but Aaron Pierre, not too many people. I was like,
I didn't know of him, but everyone says he's amazing. And
he's great. Yeah. I don't think this is a real thing. Andrew Garfield, no, and I don't think we're gonna get Barry Allen on this on the DCU.
A lot of people are saying they want
Wally. I think we're gonna get Wally, and he already went with a lesser known actor for the Big Daddy Superman. He went with a relatively unknown with Supergirl. I don't think he's gonna go with a big name for the Barry Allen or whatever Flash he chooses to bring into this universe. So the only big name that I think that I got a feeling that he's gonna use is for his Batman, and it's not gonna be like something like Ben Affleck type of name, but it's gonna be a name that is gonna be like, holy fuck, really? I don't think, and this is me just thinking. I don't think it's not gonna be anybody that everybody's fan casting, because everybody's fan casting like the three same guys. I'm like, no, I don't think
Alan Richardson, Brandon Sklenar, and then
Sklenar, especially like Sklenar. Like I don't get the appeal. Like
Danny
DeVito as Batman.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my God. So,
but yeah, Andrew Garfield. No, that is just silly. It is fun, but I don't think it.
when you play an iconic character like Spider-Man, it's hard to get out of that shadow,
Too much
man.
baggage. Yeah,
Toby
exactly.
has been living in that shadow for, I mean, when Spider-Man 1 came out, dude, I couldn't even control my bladder, dude. I was 1 years old. You know what I mean?
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, bro. Like, so it's like
Way to make me feel old.
I'm a young boy, bro. Yeah, as they say, I'm a Gerber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, and plus he's 41, man. He's 41, and
Yeah.
it's always the same faces everywhere, man. Like,
Yep.
I think I think her name is, it isn't Aziza Gunn Zala. She was in Andor.
Arizona.
Yeah, like he gets just
Andor.
fan casted everywhere. And it's the same people. I want to see new faces. I want to see new people become famous, because I also think, and I forgot to say this, I think one of the biggest things about the Superman press tour that went well is that they found new people to love.
Yep.
Like, I think that, like, hearing about David Cornsweet and about how, he just had his child, and about how he was parenting, he said he was rolling around a stroller in his Superman costume, like those are stories that you just want to hear. But like, this is his first big thing, so that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more of new people getting new shine. Definitely for the Flash, man. I think the Flash is going to be, oh man, woo, it's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. So,
all right, guys.
All
I
right.
do gotta get out of here though. But thank you.
all right, Splav.
Thanks
All right,
for coming
Matt.
on.
Be safe, homie.
Take it
All
easy,
right,
bud.
take it easy, guys.
All right, bet. Well, all right, you guys, what you all have been waiting for. We are on the MCU side of the docket, okay? So let's talk some MCU Fantastic Four. By the way, Ro and Arky, your post was so hilarious of that guy that, like, he had all of he had the food plates, and it was Doomsday Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
Superman. That post was great. That post was great. So Fantastic Four dropped a really good clip, and it's this scene here where they just got back from seeing Galactus, and if you just look at their faces, they're all shook. Like, look at the thing, man. He looks pissed off.
Like,
like,
man,
like
slumped over. Like, oh man, we fucked.
he looks like somebody's grandma for real.
Somebody say he looked like a plate of cornflakes, and
That's
I
hysterical.
can't see that shit.
Bro, the memes are going to go ham, bro. But the biggest critique that a lot of people are having, though, is that they feel that the Fantastic Four right now is showing too much footage. Do you guys see that perspective at all, or do you guys not agree?
I don't know. I don't actually. I don't. They need to show more stuff, to be honest, because I don't think people. I hope he does better. I just want movies to do good, and especially CVMs. But I haven't gotten anything that where I've been, oh my god, I cannot wait to watch this fucking film, because I got my tickets, but I'm intrigued. But even the spoiler alert, the end credit scene of the Asterix at New Avengers, whatever the fuck their name is. That even that little spoiler got me a little bit hyped, but I was like, oh man, I haven't gotten anything that's like getting me like, I haven't gotten that oomph reveal. The last trailer that they showed was pretty good, where you can see the concern on Mr. Fantastic face and the things that he said about what Galactus is asking him to give up. Because Galactus knows. If you know, you know. So, but I don't know if I'm like so excited. They need to give me more to get me excited, because even the people that are into Marvel stuff, they're like, oh my god, this looks lame. I'm like, do it.
Really? Because I'm a diehard Marvel guy. I mean, I love DC, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm definitely a little bit more of a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
Diehard Fantastic Four. And I think this movie looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I saw people complaining today, and that's why I wanted to have this on the docket, because I saw people complaining, maybe they're revealing too much now. Like, bro, we are in the 2 weeks. This movie comes out next Thursday.
Yeah. And
they just had a massive wave of Superman hype. I'm 100% positive Kevin Feige and the higher ups at Marvel had a conversation like over the weekend. They're like, we, need to pull out
Ramp it
all
up.
the stops, and we need to put out footage that pulls people in. And I think that's what this was. But I also think like the last week, I forget exactly what the trailer was, but I remember there was more chemistry between the family. And I remember, Robert Meyer Burnett and Campea were saying like that really did it for them. And I think they need to show more of that, because the thing about Fantastic Four is when you're reading a Fantastic Four comic, on every page, you could just feel the love these characters have for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the marketing was missing that.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm excited for what they're doing, and at least we're getting a proper Fantastic Four.
Finally.
I mean, third time is the charm. So,
Yeah, bro, these designs are insane.
They are.
The cinematography is next level.
Yes.
The attention to detail. Just look at this image; it's all next level. When they step on freaking space, there's a 4 off the foot that marks the they
First
did
steps.
not miss any freaking detail at all with this movie. And I did hear that critique as well with Superman, that people felt like too much was shown.
No, they did.
They
did. After I saw the fucking movie, I was like, oh my god, they gave a lot in the fucking trailers.
Yeah. And so I feel like maybe it's that stress from that, maybe leaning over here of being too much. But I'm in the same area as y'all, man. I think we need to see more. Like the biggest thing that sold me was seeing Reed use his powers more, because it felt like they were hiding seeing him stretch. And and in the last 2 to 3 trailers, which have been incredible, by the way, every one of them have been incredible. Seeing Reed use his powers has just been, and it actually looks like it fits his body. Like in all of the other iterations, it looked actually like ridiculous, And with this one, they perfectly I'm telling you, man, this movie is like, I think this movie is going to be looked at in the future if it's selling what it's selling as a masterpiece. Because I mean, dude, the attention to detail in this movie. I know I keep saying it, but like it is actually crazy how wild they're going with this.
You know what else is interesting? When we first saw Shalabal, everyone was critiquing her. The CGI wasn't right, this and that. And now when we saw her actually surfing and like moving around, everyone's like, wow, she looks amazing.
Imagine that. Unfinished CGI on a TV ad or a trailer. I don't know why people keep repeating the same complaints.
I am convinced that people make like the most nitpicky criticisms to come off and for themselves to feel and for everyone else to feel like they're really sophisticated. And a lot of them, like, it's like if you are criticizing CGI and you're going into a standard 2D showing, like, relax, okay? You don't even know what you're looking at. So chill the hell out.
Thank you.
100%. Preach, brother, preach.
Yeah. Preach. All those people that were clipping, because like you can see that any movie, like even the Fantastic Four, which the trailers, they look really good. Visually, they look incredible. Like there's got to be like, I haven't done the homework, but I'm sure there is something there that you can clip and look. Oh, well, look at this shit. It looks like trash,
right?
Because it's not finished. It's not a finished product. The movie, and also you need to see it in context. What is it going to look like in cinemas? What when we get the IMAX version of it, how does that really looks? Because they shoot this in a specific frame so it can fit that giant screen that you're watching. So it's not going to look the same on your freaking phone,
right?
100%.
And John Campion made another good point that I didn't think about, but he said, oh, we finally saw not this recent trailer, but like way back when we first saw Reed stretching, he was like, that's not going to look good no matter what. And he's not like a hater. You guys know.
Right. No, I know.
It's just like, it's just hard to make that look cool in live action. Yeah. And then I saw the scaffolding when by the way, when he was climbing through the scaffolding, I almost felt he used powers like he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it actually did look good. And I think that, I don't know, I think the trailers look good. I know a lot about the Fantastic Four. I think this movie looks good. And I've talked to other like comic fanatics like myself who are big on the Fantastic Four. And some of them said they had concerns at the very beginning. And now they're like super confident in the movie.
Yeah, I had this. Well, I have a 18-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are big Marvel stands.
Okay.
And they were like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this.
Oh, really?
Actually, my oldest one was like, I gotta watch it because I gotta watch every freaking movie because Doomsday is coming and
Right.
it's a tie-in, and we might see Doomsday at the end as an end credit. And that's the only reason why he said, I'm gonna watch it just for that. But this looks like trash. Like, come on, bro. Wait until the movie comes out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's
but
fire.
yeah, but some people, I want to see it. I don't think it's gonna be, because I think every movie is gonna have its lovers and its haters, and because it's just the way it is. And nobody, I had a conversation with somebody about that. Was it yesterday or today? That everybody just wants to be right about something. They don't want to have an open dialogue. Because like you see all these people saying on social media, "Oh, this is trash." Like, what the fuck? Are you a movie director? How long you been in the business for you to be talking this way? And when I see those kind of people expressing themselves that way, is because like I feel like they just want that attention. It's not because they really want to have a real deep conversation about the product itself.
Yeah,
100%, bro. It almost feels like they don't want to see these movies succeed. Like, that's not the goal of us doing content. Like, the reason why we started this podcast, and bro, probably, and I know the reason why you do this, we love this ish.
Yeah,
like we love it, know. And it feels like nowadays people don't like, and that's what the Snyder thing just drives me crazy. Because like even though I wasn't a fan of Zack Snyder stuff in real time, I never said I wanted BVS to fail in the moment.
Right.
I mean, BVS was a cultural moment at the time, I mean, it was. And, and like to sit there and do it now, it's crazy. So I definitely see how you feel, bro. It's crazy.
I mean, they got a truck going around the city, like saying,
and I think it was Slav who said it's funny that the logo for that channel is
it's like,
I find that hilarious.
I never make this stuff up, man. It's hilarious.
Yeah. When I see shit like that, it actually makes me laugh because I don't know, because like this motherfucker got him. They got these people to invest, the good money to put that ad out for their website, for the channel.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, they well fucking play, motherfuckers.
And he got them to put the money into a shitty investment because, number one, the people that invested aren't getting Zack Snyder Justice League 2. And I guarantee you, this was in like Wall Street, Manhattan, which is the financial district. They're not going to watch Lethal Geeks tonight, okay?
Yeah, dude. Nah, bro. I would love for Zack Snyder to post a photo like it would have been funny if like Friday he just posted a photo like just like on a beach drinking a pina colada, just not caring, just to show the fans like, you guys are tripping over something I don't even care about. Like, that's the honest truth. I mean,
like, I don't knock people's hustle because I don't know, it is hard to make it in as a YouTuber, podcaster. It's very competitive. So I don't knock people's hustle. What bothers me is when people take advantage of other people. And I think they are taking advantage of people's good faith. So I don't think they even care about the people watching them, because they are in essence lying to the people that are there to watch them. They are feeding them false hope. They are giving them money for whatever it is for the channel. And that, to me, that level of fucking
integrity, lack of integrity,
that's what bothers me, because like, if you want to talk shit all day, like some of the channels, fucking do it. But when you are telling people, we're gonna get it back while it's closed, restore, like, it's not gonna happen. Why you keep doing this, bro?
Nope. It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do a fan side and talk about, let's break down this movie because we love it, or let's break down these movies because we continue to watch it, whatever, that's fine. But don't sell lies, because it's bullshit.
And that's why I respect people like Star Wars Theory so much, because he makes his own fan films that he pays for, that he can't even make a profit for, because Lucasfilm takes all of his profits. You know what I mean? Like, he hates what they're doing now, but at least he's putting his finances where his mouth is to make actual content that he stands for and likes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, gotta respect that. And I gotta watch the channel more, but yeah, I don't like I can never respect someone who doesn't have integrity.
Yeah. All right, bet. Next topic here, Mr. Norman Osborn. So,
Hmm.
the rumors are heating up about Norman Osborn coming into the MCU. No one has specified whether he's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day or not. But it is talked about him. And I saw an argument that I thought was hilarious. But the one thing that they were arguing about was, should Norman just be Norman in the MCU and no Green Goblin? And a lot of people are saying that because we just got, Gabi in the last
Yeah,
Spider-Man file. And
I agree.
so I want to see if you guys could just talk about why some fans think that Norman should just be Norman Osborn, because I do think that a lot of people don't know about what Norman does in Marvel. I feel like people only see him as, the Green Goblin.
So
That's it.
I definitely think that, listen, I think it's a good idea to start him out as just Norman. Like, yes, we did just see Green Goblin. Green Goblin obviously had the climax of the No Way Home final battle. We don't need to just go into Green Goblin right away. And we know the villain is going to be Silver Samurai anyway, and potentially a female in Brand New Day. But Norman Osborn is a much bigger character than just Green Goblin. He is actually like a staple in the Marvel universe in his own right. He's a huge entrepreneur. He's a father, and he has a lot of history with Spider-Man, with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, not as Green Goblin, as just Norman. And it's usually when he was Green Goblin, he kind of went crazy and he's like Norman again. And he's like, I'm trying to do good. And Peter's kind of has a relationship with him and he's kind of keeping his eye on him. And of course, it cycles and then he goes crazy and he goes Green Goblin and he goes back and forth. And even in the newest Spider-Man run that just started, we're like about to hit issue 8, I think next week, which has been great, by the way. Amazing Spider-Man by Joe Kelly. But yeah, Norman Osborn is just Norman Osborn. He's not the Green Goblin. So I think that would be a great move. And he, also was the Iron Patriot, and he did a hostile takeover on Stark Industries. Like, he's done a lot of cool things. And there are the Dark Avengers. There's so many cool stories around Norman Osborn. I think it's a good idea to have him just be Norman Osborn and then keep people guessing when he's going to become the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I like your train of thought. I think so too. Especially because we just got the Green Goblin and it's part of the same universe. So, and people try to steer clear from the whole multiverse saga. I think they want to be done with that idea. So building that character out and flesh him out, it will make sense instead of just pushing him into being the Green Goblin right away, which was a huge mistake on Garfield Spider-Man. I feel that character should have been developed. Well, his son, it should have been developed a little bit more, the Hobgoblin. But but the thing is that I don't. Aren't they building Miles Morales with this movie? Because I don't know how many more movies is this kid gonna be doing as Spider-Man.
They have one more Miles Morales movie, but I don't know. I know that's the weird thing about Tom Holland. He kind of signed a multi-picture deal a couple of years ago, and he said that he was taking a break. I guess the break must have passed at this point, but I think he signed a 3-movie deal like right after No Way Home.
Oh, so but that has 3 more Spider-Man movies?
Yeah, those just Spider-Man, and I'm pretty sure it included like Avengers, or actually maybe not, because we don't even know if he's in Doomsday.
True.
Yeah, but then he was in the same area where they're filming. It's weird. It's weird how all this stuff is working. You just don't know what's happening.
But now we just found out they're filming Brand New Day in Glasgow. So maybe that's why he was over there.
Yeah, it's weird. But I mean, and we definitely need Norman. I want to see Harry. I miss Harry Osborn. That's one of my favorite, best friend duo character. Like, I love Ned, but I knew Ned as a Miles guy. Ned, I mean, Ned was Miles' boy. You know what I mean? So I want Harry back. You know, in the MCU, and that would make me very happy. And with Miles, bro, I don't know what Sony is going to do, because Sony they love to play with Marvel Studios and yank characters all the time. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but Tom Holland even got yanked for
Yeah, from
like
the
a second
Venom.
there. Yeah. So, you know, if I wanted the best of both worlds, I would love if the Sony U had their Miles, you know, where the Miles could be the Spider-Man of the Sony U, and then, you know, and the Marvel Studios has their Tom Holland, you know, so we get both, and then we can see them maybe come together during certain points, you know. Like, I think that would be fun, but I mean, honestly, bro, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I want to see Miles come in Secret Wars because that's how he came into the 616 in the comics to begin with.
Yes.
So
Fact.
you read Secret Wars.
Yeah.
You're a Marvel guy.
I'm both.
There you go. All
What's
right.
that?
Yeah.
It's not here. But yeah. But no. You're right. And that's why I was asking why. I thought the next movie was because the next movie is supposed to take place before Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought, wait, so it will make sense for them to introduce Miles Morales, which comes to the 616 in that. Then if he jumps into the 616 from this movie, makes total sense.
That's what I always said I thought was going to happen too, because it's just
one thing. Shit, I forgot to
capitalize on it.
Oh yeah, they should. They should. Like who would they cast for that? Man,
I don't know, man. It would have to be an unknowner, you know. It has to be an unknown guy. You can't go with someone mainstream. And then and this is why Kang the Conqueror will forever hurt my soul, because I remember there were rumors that like Miguel O'Hara was working with Kang the Conqueror, and I was like, bro,
oh my god, bro,
dude, holy airball, man. You know, it's like I think they were really doing something crazy there at the time. So like I wish we got to see it, but I do think this third Spider-Verse movie is going to be generational. It's going to be crazy.
I think so too. Spider-Man never misses, man. Just even though the last one, I watched it a couple of times, and it feels like fan service, but still there is a really good movie under there.
I love No Way Home. Like the more I watch it, the more I love it. I always say Spider-Man is the best managed IP in the game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I
like the idea of them bringing Miles Morales, and then Sony takes over that character and kind of do their own thing and builds this flesh out his universe. But I just have no trust in Sony, bro. Like all the shit that they've done, it's like I don't know. I want him to be properly.
I think they've done a good job with Miles, and I think it would be smart because, like, even today, when I was
Into the Spider-Verse, they have.
Yeah, and if you let them do more stuff with Miles, like, and you keep them happy, they might let Marvel do more with Peter. And I was even listening to Campy on the way home, and they were talking about, like, do you think Doctor Doom will be in Spider-Man Brand New Day because it's the last movie before Avengers Doomsday? And they were like, well, you know how much they'd have to pay Robert Downey Jr. and it's a Sony movie, and Sony's not going to want to pay Robert Downey Jr. to cameo to build up Avengers Doomsday when they have nothing to do with it.
I think RDJ got a big ass payday to come back, and I think it's because not only because of one movie, it's because of what he's gonna do in this universe. So that means that he can show up as an end credit in the film. He can be the villain of another one, or he can be just set up. Be the setup MacGuffin for the next following movie. Right. So I don't think it was just for Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think there's something bigger. Like they gave him like fucking 7 million.
I think it was 100 mil.
100 mil. Yeah, no, they gonna use the fuck out of him. They're just not gonna give him.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna give you $100 million for 3 fucking movies. Get the fuck.
They're like, yeah, we own you.
Yeah.
It's like for real. But yeah, and and Sony does have a lot to figure out because they were even beefing with the Spider-Verse writers over Spider-Man Noir too. So there's a lot of stuff going on. That's an Amazon Prime thing. So can't wait for that to drop as well. So yeah, we're just gonna see what happens with Spider-Man. But all right, guys, we got 3 more topics and we'll be out of here. Now you guys spoke about Spider-Man Brand New Day, so I wanted to talk about it. And Jerry, you touched on it here about Tom Holland talked about how they are filming in Glasgow. But the one thing that Tom Holland said that I loved it. He said we are really going to lean into that old school filmmaking and shoot in real locations. We are going to use the streets of Glasgow for this massive set piece that we are putting together. I feel, or he said, it's going to feel like a breath of fresh air. Now, if you guys saw any of the set stuff from Spider-Man No Way Home, it was almost all green screen. You know what I mean? Like when you see the pics of Andrew Garfield and Toby standing, it was all green screen, and it was due to the COVID times. Everybody wasn't allowed to be outside and stuff.
They wanted to keep everything on the wraps too.
So, how do you guys feel about like the fact that we are getting like real location filming back? Like how does that make you guys feel?
I like it. I remember when they were shooting, I think it was Spider-Man 2 or was the first or the Amazing Spider-Man. I remember they were shooting in New York. Was one of the two? I don't remember. But I remember that I was working in New York at the time, and I saw when they were shooting, and then I saw the film, and it felt authentic. So I think shooting on location gives the movie a level of authenticity that you don't get when you get those green screens. So I think it's a good idea. It's again, I don't know. I want spectacle, and at the same time, like I'm conflicted with this Spider-Man because we've seen him going to space. We see him like fully fantastical, but we haven't seen like street level Spider-Man, which has some of the best stories. And now, like we're hearing about Daredevil and Punisher showing up in this fucking film. And I'm like, how street level is this gonna be? Is it gonna be fantastical? It's gonna be like street level type of Spider-Man. So like if they're doing this whole thing on location, then it makes sense that we're gonna get that probably like even noir type of Spider-Man where it's like those type of movies that we haven't seen from this Spider-Man yet.
Yeah, bro.
That's what I want to see. I want like a classical street level, Peter Parker and his New York element Spider-Man movie. And for the longest time, it feels like we've always wanted it. And don't get me wrong, I think all of the Home trilogy movies were great. I even think the second one gets hated on, and everyone loved it when it came out, and now people don't.
Stereo?
Yeah, I thought it was so cool.
I hated that movie.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a big fan. I liked it enough. I didn't hate it. No, I didn't hate it.
I definitely didn't hate it. I thought it was good. Anyway, but yeah, like none of them really felt like that. None of them just gave you that classic Spider-Man vibe. Even though Homecoming was set in New York and it wasn't really.
No.
It was grounded, but it just wasn't that classic New York Spider-Man movie. And it sounds like that's what we're getting with this movie. And I just can't wait.
Wait, were y'all talking about hating? Wait, when I say hated, were y'all talking about Far From Home or
Far
The
From
Amazing
Home.
Spider-Man 2? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No.
Mr. Big Eyes. Oh, dude, I hate the big Spider-Man eyes. Oh, my God.
I actually love those.
Oh,
I said the same
my
thing.
big eyes. It drives me insane.
You know why? I'm all the shit. So the first Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie that I saw in movie theaters was in 1979. I think it was. I mean, like it was a 79 movie. What the fuck did that movie come out?
I've seen it when I was a kid. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was like it was the very first one. You can see the guy like wire hanging from the back of his suit and all that shit.
Yes.
And he had some of like the big eyes, and that took me back. Like, oh. Like I felt like that was paying homage to that, and also to the 90s comic books. Also, that had the big eyes. So it's like, yes, this looks good. So yeah, I was a fan of the big eyes.
Yeah, bro, I've gotten torched on TikTok about that a lot. They'd be like, "You're not a real Spider-Man fan because you hate the eyes." I'm like, "Oh, well, all right, guys." Hurt my feelings now. All right.
People say the same thing to me over criticizing Superman's trunks. Like, bro, if I don't like a design choice, I don't like a design choice.
Yeah, like you couldn't have a fucking thought. Like you're here because you want me to tell you the honest truth,
right?
You know what I mean? Like you can.
Heck yeah, bro.
You can win.
It's so funny, bro. It's so funny. All right. Next topic here, the Human Torch and Spider-Man. Let me pull this up. So I'm pretty sure it was Joseph Quinn that was asked about this. By the way, man, the Human Torch shots in the Fantastic Four, chef's kiss. I just wanted to say that out there.
This one that was a little bit odd. The one that he's carrying thing, like he's flying around and his hair is not moving at all. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I rewatched that, and I think with you, it's like his hair is hanging down because he's got bangs,
Mhm.
and they're kind of flickering here. And I think that the hair just isn't moving because he's going straight, like, the hair is coming. It's hard to describe, but I actually think
I don't have hair, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm losing mine too. But I do think directionally it makes sense for the angle they're like de-escalating.
Okay, yeah, because it still look a little bit weird because you can see the suit moving and everything flickering and the hair is. But yeah, everything that I seen from Johnny Storm, and I like Johnny Storm.
He's such a great character.
I don't know if they changed him a lot. You know what? I was not a big fan of the actor. Even though I loved him in Stranger Things.
Me too.
And he was okay on the Silence movie. What was the name of that fucking movie that he made?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that movie that he made. That he was supposed. He's like a big pussy throughout the entire movie.
Oh, he's in Gladiator, right?
No, not Gladiator.
Warfare.
No, it was the movie Quiet Place. Thank you. Yes, fuck.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he was in Quiet Place, and like I was watching that movie with my wife. Like, why is he such a pussy? So like, some men are like that, baby. It is what it is. Yeah, I didn't like him in that movie. After that, I was like, I'm not a big fan of this fucking guy. And then I saw him as Johnny Storm. I was like, oh, you know what? This might work.
Oh yeah. And now in the new clip, it's like he's in love with the female Silver Surfer because he feels like so apparently that scene when he flies after her and he grabs her surfboard. Now he thinks that they had like a sexual moment. So I can't wait to see him talk about that in theaters. I think that's hilarious.
He did hook up with an alien in technically they just rebooted the current run to issue number 1.
Okay.
But he did sleep with an alien that I got to tell you looks like a life-size centipede. Okay.
What the fuck?
But a lot of people had problems with it.
That's a William Shatner type of shit.
Yeah. But I do think that this would be a sick movie because, first of all, these two are best friends in the comics.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm dies, aka gets stuck in the negative zone, and it was Peter Parker, Spider-Man, who takes his place, and they become the Future Foundation. But they are best friends in the comics, and they always have the best conversations. It's always so fun. I just think this would be amazing and such a W move if they.
You can bring the Fantastic Four and not pay respect to the history between Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. So I think we're gonna get something there. That would be cool. That's far more. That should have been a thing instead of Spider-Man and Iron Man. That's like, even though it was cool, having an Iron Man because they were building the universe, but it makes more sense to have them join up in the future.
100%.
Yeah.
What do you guys think that is gonna happen at the end of Fantastic Four?
I definitely think this Fantastic Four is going to find their way to our 616 or whatever the MCU sacred timeline.
Are they though?
Called. I do. I think it was them at the end of Thunderbolts. I know there's a lot.
You see the ship, but you don't see them.
But it's their sword, though,
you
bro.
see the ship, but you do not see them.
It's the sword and the symbol, bro.
What's that?
Yeah. But it's also I have a okay. All right. Can we just nerd out for a second? Okay.
Sure.
So there's been this rumor going around talking about that, that there's going to be some fake that comes in this Fantastic Four ship. Some people say it's Doom posing as Stark. Some people say, some people also think that it could possibly maybe be John Krasinski's Reed from the 838 coming back from what happened after Doctor Strange. I don't really think that is a true. I think is the Fantastic Four. And I also wanted to talk about the ending because I always thought that the ending was going to be something to where Franklin is the reason why they get to, our MCU timeline. Right. And I still think that's a thing. I just think that maybe Reed found a way to work it into his ship multiversal space travel, or maybe he even built some type of machine for them to go there. But when I heard that the end credit scene, and spoiler alert, is Doom possibly taking Franklin, I don't know. I think the movie is just going to end on a good note. Like I don't even think the movie is going to end with Thunderbolts whatsoever now. Like
No,
that changes everything.
yeah, I don't think the Fantastic Four is going to have a happy ending. I think
I agree.
I don't think it's gonna be a happy ending. I think they're gonna lose the Earth, and I don't know if it's all of them are gonna make it back. Shit. Because the thing is that on that film, on the last film, on Thunderbolts, I think it was Mr. Fantastic. It was who was talking, right? No, he was sending. There was nobody talking. We just saw the ship.
Right.
But we didn't see who, if they were inside, who was inside, if it's all of them, if it's just Mr. Fantastic, or if it just Franklin Richard being fucking Kal-El into the 616. So we don't know all those details, but I got a feeling that they are gonna lose, and the ending is not what everybody expects.
That was my day one theory too. I was like, it takes place on another Earth, and a big character trait of Reed is that he carries a lot of guilt. He's carried a lot of guilt because he was the reason that Ben turned into a rock, and they, went through the cosmic rays. And at first, to them, it was a catastrophe that this happened. It wasn't a good thing. And Reed was always like, I came up with the Fantastic Four so I could at least give them a celebrity, glamorous life. I didn't even think the name was cool. I just knew it would do well in headlines, like things like that. Right. So I could see it not panning out and them being able to only save themselves kind of thing. And then they come to the 616, and Reed carries this enormous guilt of failing his home planet.
Yep.
I used to think that too until I heard about the Doom taking the baby in. So the way that I feel is, so Reed said something in the trailer that still haunts me to this very day, where he said, I stretched the bounds of space and they heard. And to me personally, that just doesn't, I really think there's something else going on in this movie aside from the whole Galactus situation.
The Beyonder? And
I don't know. That's the thing, bro. I just have no idea because, and then I look at this, this chalkboard that he's writing on, and it looks like a multiversal bridge or some multiversal.
It looks like a escape route.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was a life raft.
Yeah, that was a life. Yeah.
And so like the question that like I have is like, okay, like we have Galactus as the threat, yes, but but is there something else that is also going on? And like, could it be that there's a possible incursion happening, or like, does Reed see something that isn't even on the radar at this moment that is stressing them out, that might come to fruition around the end time when they figure out whatever is going on with Galactus? And that's the thing that's just been so weird to me. It just, and look, I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like, bros, like there's something else going on in this movie.
Well, in the comics, it was Reed and the cosmic rays and him like doing such advanced work that attracted Galactus to them. So when I hear Reed say that, I think of like the coming of Galactus by Stanley and Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
comic accuracy. I think that's them being comic accurate to the story of Galactus finding them for the first time.
See, that makes more sense than the whole thing, because I heard about the whole thing about Doomsday taking his son, which I was like, I don't know if they're gonna go that. Well, they could split them out where he takes his son and she goes with them. I don't know, man. That this is gonna be interesting. That's the thing that I'm more invested in as far as this movie. Where is this gonna lead up to? Because it's a huge setup film to let you know these characters are here. They're good. They're gonna be a good addition to the MCU, and also set up what's coming on Doomsday, and then on Secret Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, interesting enough, and I know Valeria isn't supposed to be in this movie,
Right.
but Doctor Doom and Valeria in the comics are like so close. She calls him Uncle Doom. She like sneaks through bridges to go communicate with him. It's crazy. So, you know, maybe they're planning on swapping that for Franklin because they're not going to have Valeria yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Have
know.
they alluded to her?
Huh?
Have they alluded to her?
Nah, and you know, I don't think they're going to do it until later down the line. I think they probably are like, we just want to establish these characters for now, and it's enough already to do Franklin. So that's just my thought on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt this way since the very first show that something else is going on, and then there's been little things like where his tech looks just like the TV. Why is everything blue and then you have orange computer? It's just weird things that that I've just been peeping that I just wonder, are they going to try to connect Reed to this greater idea, or does he know something that we don't? Because it's like I don't know, but I do think that the story in general of the movie is going to center around Franklin. I mean, it's pretty clear at this point, that Franklin is going to be a focal point, and Reed is obviously stressed out about the whole entire thing. So
yeah, well, they're not giving up Franklin. I mean, and they're not going to decide to do it, and I think that's going to be the major dilemma. And I think it's good that they told. Like I said before, I think it's good that they kind of put that out.
I think that's a good. Like when I saw that, it got me intrigued because I'm thinking. My son, give up my son or give up the earth, and people are going to look at them differently. Like, what? You couldn't give up your son just to save the entire earth, which is a huge fucking ask.
Yeah.
But it's still a selfish act. Like, oh, fuck yeah, motherfucker, I'm taking my son.
Right.
I mean? This is it's a very human thing to do. But, and I don't think anybody has the capacity to do such a thing, to give up their son for even if it's gonna save entire humanity. Oh, yeah. So I think that's gonna also create some different dynamics with them in the public, because in the public eye they're superstars, they are their saviors, and all of a sudden when the push come to shove, they didn't sacrifice like they thought that they would, when the time came for them to make that ultimate sacrifice. So probably I think that's a fascinating way to go about these characters, because that's never it's been explored in the comics too. But
I mean, dude, did you guys see that scene where they walk in and Galactus' eyes are just glowing? Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
That's the one thing
that's a panel
really shown is like a full image of Galactus.
They're hiding that one. They're hiding that one for sure. And then I also want to talk about this here real fast about the Fantastic Four before we hit Samuel L. Jackson. So Matt Shackman explained why the Fantastic Four First Steps is set in an alternate universe is actually on Earth 828, and he says he wanted to avoid the narrative issue of why the Fantastic Four did not show up during the Thanos attack in the MCU, and he wanted to avoid the continuity conflicts with the main timeline. And he said that the choice of Earth 828 was a nod to Jack Kirby, the co-creator of the Fantastic Four, who was born August 28th, 828.
Cool.
Yeah, so
I mean, it makes sense. So they don't have to adhere to a larger story or have to explain a lot of shit why they weren't part of the previous universe. Does anybody knows why the 616 is called the 616?
I used to. There is a reason for it.
Because I ask around and nobody has been able to give me a straight answer.
So I'm looking it up now. Okay, you know what? I don't know. Let
me ask ChatGPT.
That's what I was doing. But I will say, I do think this news is very interesting from Matt Shackman because, number one, obviously, everyone's always suspected these kinds of things with characters that haven't been introduced to the MCU, but it has implications for what they're going to do about the X-Men as well, because it's going to be the same dilemma. Well, why wouldn't the X-Men show up to stop Thanos in Infinity War? So obviously the X-Men are going to have to explain where the X-Men have kind of been sequestered for the entirety of time through the MCU, and they're going to do something similar. I'm not saying another planet. Maybe it's Krakoa or something like that. Maybe it's Araco, which is like their own planet. But
Right.
they'll figure it out. It's going to be one of those types of things.
Yeah. Cool. All right, bet. And then last topic. Before we hit this last topic, real, I want to ask you a cool question. I totally forgot to ask you earlier. Do you think that Kal-El's parents' video thing was somewhat faked by Lex, or that it was tampered with, the whole "we want you to rule the planet and have multiple wives" thing? Like, do you think do you think that was very real, or do you think that was a little faked?
I think it was real. We watched. I think we watched the same episode of. I think it Campia. Somebody said that in the Campia show that those weren't his parents. That was actually General Zod who tampered with the video feed, whatever. But I think they made 3 mentions in the show that it was legitimate, and that's the movie telling you this is the truth. First it was Lex, then it was the scientist who verified it, and then Mr. Terrific, who's a reliable source of information, said, "Yeah, I know these people. They wouldn't make any mistakes on this." Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think those 3 things were intentionally letting you know, yeah, this is real, and I think that's fine. Like if you watch Smallville, you've seen his parents, his Kryptonian parents, kind of alluding to some of the stuff. The fact that General Zod, which was the de facto leader of the Armada, of the freaking army, was in charge of colonizing other sectors in the universe. So they have a colonist type of mentality. So it will make sense for them to send the kid and say, "Hey, colonize Earth. You are gonna be the strongest in there. Nobody is gonna be able to kill you. Yeah, spread your seed, create a new Krypton." So it's pretty much part of the culture. So it will make sense that he will say something like that. Yeah. And I know some of the purists like, their parents wouldn't do that. The fuck are you, bro? Let these fucking creators take some liberties with his characters.
Right.
Yeah. That's hilarious. All right, bet. Now, last topic of the night, guys. Mr. Samuel L. Jackson, it is reported that he is going to return as Nick Fury in Avengers Doomsday. Now, I'm gonna lie, guys, I've missed Nick for a long time. Secret Invasion, it was fun to see him, but the show was bad. It wasn't the best show. So, how do you guys feel about Nick Fury being back with the freaking Russo bros, with some of the old gang, back filming the Avengers movies?
I love it. I think it's going to make, I think him with Secret Invasion didn't do well, but I'm hoping him coming back with the new Avengers kind of helps people get the vibes from the older Avengers and reminds them, makes them feel like we're in the glory days again.
Yeah, I think so too. If they're going to decide to bring back Nick Fury, and seeing Doomsday being RDJ, the guy that was working shoulder to shoulder. I cannot even fucking say that word. Working beside him this entire time, and then all of a sudden, is the main villain and the big baddie. It's gonna create some interesting dynamics. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Especially he was on his side with the whole Sokovia Accord. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how all that stuff is gonna play out. Because it could have been the seeds, or that individual really being Doomsday all along. Yeah. I got that all along. But I want to see more Nick Fury. I think he's just he was that generational fucking character that is synonymous with Avengers. So now having him in an Avengers movie is just blasphemous.
Yeah. I mean, and he was absent in Infinity War and Endgame pretty much 90% into those movies, which is still crazy that and sometimes, and I'm not gonna like, I forgot that he was there. I'm not gonna lie, because those movies were so insane.
It
right?
was so stacked. That
There was just no space for it. Yeah. So, but I'm happy to see Nick back, man. It's gonna be a fun time, and I hope that Samuel L. Jackson can say MFer when he sees Dr. Doom. just give it one time. Just give it one time. Just for the heck of it. So, yo, boy, remember when he faded away and he almost said it? He
Mother.
he faded. You guys,
I remember that. Yeah, he need to drop one at least.
Those were some good times. Good times. All right, guys. It is getting pretty late, guys. So here's what we are going to do. I know you guys dropped a lot of chats. So what we are going to do is next show we are going to address these chats here, because I just don't want to keep you guys on too late. There's so many chats, and we'll end the show here. All right, guys. So real bro, thank you so much for hopping on, bro. We really
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, this was great.
This was fun. Yeah.
And dude, just want to say we love your content over here.
I love your content too. I watch it, guys.
Thank you, bro.
I don't comment. I do that shit a lot. Like I watch in the replay because I work from home, so I gotta listen to something while I'm working.
Yeah,
I listen to you, Slav, Dave, like a lot of other YouTubers who have good content, and like there are not just rage baiting people into watch their shit. Like they have real conversations. I want to hear real conversations about this stuff that I love.
100%, bro. So yeah, dude. So thank you so much for all your time. And guys, we just hope that you guys had a great time hanging out with just, four dudes just talking, just shooting the shop, talking about Marvel and DC and not Star Wars, thank God. And we just hope you guys have a really good night, y'all. And peace out. Stay crispy. And please follow Real Anarchy on X, on TikTok, on YouTube. All of it. Are you on Instagram too, bro?
Yeah, but I don't use it as much. I should.
Yeah, screw Instagram. Follow him on all of the other platforms, guys. Have a great day, y'all, and peace out.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.